Donald J. Trump has always been a man obsessed with legacy. Not just the kind written in headlines, but the kind carved into marble in history books, the kind that lives on far beyond a single lifetime. From a moment he stepped into the spotlight as a New York real estate mogul, to the time he descended that golden escalator to launch his presidency, he's been building not just towers, but a myth. A myth of dominance, disruption, and daring to do what no one else would. And within that myth lies a deep, unshakable hunger for the kind of respect that even billions can't buy. For Trump, the Nobel Peace Prize isn't just a trophy. It's the final jewel in a crown he believes he already earned. But why would a man so polarizing, so aggressive in speech and unpredictable in action, crave the world's highest honor for peace? Is it about proving something to the world, or proving something to himself? To understand this, we have to revisit one of the most surreal moments in modern diplomacy. It was June 12, 2018, in Singapore, where two of the world's most unpredictable leaders, Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un, met face to face. Before this, the two had been engaged in a verbal war that left the world breathless. Trump called Kim Little Rocket Man. Kim responded by threatening nuclear war. American citizens were preparing for conflict. Panic was in the air, but suddenly, against all odds, they were shaking hands, smiling, posing for the cameras. It was more than just theater, it was history. For the first time ever, a sitting U.S. president met with the leader of North Korea. It wasn't just a photo op. It symbolized what Trump called a bold step toward peace. And in that moment, the conversation shifted. Pundits, supporters, and even foreign leaders began whispering the once unthinkable. Maybe Trump actually deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. But that meeting was just the beginning. What followed were several more summits between the two leaders, including a stunning moment at the Korean Demilitarized Zone in 2019, where Trump crossed the border into North Korea, becoming the first U.S. president in history to do so. It was bold, it was symbolic, and it was dangerous. Critics said he was legitimizing a brutal dictator. Supporters said he was changing the game. No matter where you stood, you had to admit Trump was doing something no other president had dared. But here's where things become complicated. Despite the historic meetings, North Korea never dismantled its nuclear program. No disarmament treaty was ever signed. In fact, months later, missile tests resumed. The media began calling it a failed peace show. But Trump didn't see it that way. To him,
short-range missiles, we never made an agreement on that. I have no problem. We'll see what happens. But these are short-range missiles. They're very standard.
the mere act of opening a channel of communication, of halting the immediate threat of war, was proof enough of peace. And in his eyes, that deserved recognition, not ridicule. And recognition is something Donald Trump has always chased, not just in politics, but throughout his life. Growing up under the shadow of his powerful father, Fred Trump, Donald was raised with a ruthless philosophy: win at all costs, dominate, never admit weakness. That mindset shaped every deal, every campaign, every speech. But beneath that armor lies a man desperate to be seen, not just by the public, but by history itself. The Nobel Peace Prize isn't just an award to him. It's a validation that he mattered beyond politics, beyond money. It would place his name beside giants like Mandela and King, names that no tweet, no scandal, no critic could erase. It's not just about peace. It's about immortality. And then came one of the most overlooked but powerful moves of his presidency, the Abraham Accords. Brokered during his final months in office, the Accords normalized relations between Israel and multiple Arab nations, including the UAE, Bahrain, Sudan, and Morocco. For decades, peace in the Middle East had seemed impossible. Countless administrations tried and failed. But under Trump's administration, through unconventional methods and back-channel diplomacy, a breakthrough occurred. Arab nations that once refused to even acknowledge Israel suddenly agreed to peaceful relations. Embassies were opened. Trade began. Flights launched. The world changed quietly, without the drama of wars or treaties. And yet, Trump received little credit. The media mostly downplayed it. The Nobel Committee didn't acknowledge it. And once again, Trump's obsession deepened. He began questioning the system itself. Why is peace only recognized when done by certain types of leaders? Why was Obama awarded a Nobel Prize just for being elected, while he was overlooked after actual deals were signed? This resentment, this sense of injustice, has become a theme Trump returns to constantly. At rallies, he mocks the Nobel Prize, yet simultaneously demands it. He jokes about it, yet brings it up unprompted. He praises his own peace efforts, yet calls the prize system-rigged. In truth, it's a window into his psychology. He doesn't just want applause from his followers. He wants validation from the elites who mocked him, from the institutions that never took him seriously. The Nobel Peace Prize, to Trump, isn't about diplomacy. It's about rewriting his legacy, about forcing history to respect him, even if his critics never will. But can a man who weaponized division also claim to be a peacemaker? That's the question historians will debate for decades. This is the same leader who separated families at the border, who incited fierce culture wars, who threatened to pull out of NATO and slammed longtime allies. The same man who ordered a drone strike that nearly sparked war with Iran, who faced impeachment not once but twice. Yet at the same time, he avoided new full-scale wars, reduced U.S. military presence abroad, and reshaped global alliances in ways that arguably made parts of the world safer. It's a paradox. A man of conflict who still made moments of peace. Maybe that's what makes his Nobel obsession so haunting. It challenges the very definition of peace itself. Even after leaving office, the pursuit hasn't stopped. In 2020, 2021, and even 2024, several individuals and lawmakers nominated Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize, citing his role in international diplomacy. He didn't win, and every time his frustration grew, he accused the committee of political bias, of being too left-leaning, of punishing him not for his actions, but for his personality. But if that's true, if the Nobel Peace Prize is now as political as any election, then what does it truly mean? Does it still carry the moral weight it once did? Or has it become just another symbol twisted by modern chaos? So now we ask a question that cuts deeper than politics. What truly defines peace in today's world? Is it the signing of treaties or the avoidance of war? One thing is certain, the story isn't over. Whether or not Trump ever receives the Nobel Peace Prize, his pursuit of it has already changed the conversation. It has forced the world to reconsider what peace looks like in the 21st century. And it's made millions of people, both fans and critics, stop and think. Can chaos ever lead to calm? Can the world's loudest voice bring about the world's quietest dream? This is MOCO Views, and if you're still watching, you know this wasn't just about Trump. This was about how the world sees power, peace, and the people who dare to change everything. Subscribe now for more stories that go deeper than the headlines, expose the unseen, and ask the questions no one else is asking.